Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. It is 5 minutes to 9 at night. I had a killer day and I'm exhausted, but I just saw the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame posted their nominees for 2025 induction, and I love going through these. I do my annual rant, and I thought it would be fun. You know, some people say don't take it so seriously, and I do take it seriously, but I'm mellowing out with this one. But it's definitely fun to talk about, and I want to go through the nominees and let me know what you think, and I'm going to let you know what I think about the 14 nominees for 2025 induction from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just announced sometime today. So there they are. Bad Company gets their first nomination. The Black Crowes, first nomination. Mariah Carey. Chubby Checker, first nomination. Joe Cocker, first nomination. Billy Idol, first nomination. Joy Division and New Order. Cyndi Lauper. Maná, first nomination. Oasis, Outkast, first nomination. Phish, first nomination. Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. And what you notice is here, it really is a lot of rock and roll, which I've been bitching about a little bit over the last couple of years. Yeah, there's a good amount of rock and roll on this list. The question is, are they the correct choices, and do they or any of these actually deserve it? So let's go through the ones that I like and are familiar with. First off, Bad Company. I'm a fan of Bad Company. I was a fan of them when they first started out. Super group, you know, and Paul Rodgers, I think, one of the all-time great vocalists, and Simon Kirke and Mick Ralphs and Boswell, great lineup, and their first album, Bad Company, is an all-time classic, one of the great debuts of all time. All of this is in my opinion. Second album, Straight Shooter, also pretty great album for sure. Now after that, and I like Bad Company, you got all their albums. I got more than I'm showing you here. That's their first two. But then you got Running with the Pack. It's a good album. And you got Burning Sky. It's okay. It's a good album. And then they came back with Desolation Angels right there. That was a stronger album. And I forgot the other one. The one with Electric Land. Rough Diamonds. I got it downstairs. I forgot that. Because I have a lot of Bad Company. So I'm not bringing them all up. But here's like a good collection. The Bad Company Anthology 2 CD set. So here's a lot of their best songs. You know, it's good. It's really good. Some of it is great. But is it what you would think of maybe as Hall of Fame worthy? You know, are they more like a baseball player that's batting like 250, 280? You know, is it Hall of Fame worthy? Well, honestly, it might be compared to some of the other people they've been putting in. But, you know, great band. Let's keep going. The Black Crowes. You know, when the Black Crowes came out, I was pretty excited. I was like, these guys are right up my alley. You know, got a cross between Southern Rock, The Faces, Humble Pie, great frontman, great band. And I was a huge fan. This is a really cool box set. This is the Black Crowes really in their prime. Their first, Their first 4 albums right there. So, you know, if you don't know them, debut album is a classic, great album. Phenomenal album. The second one's a pretty phenomenal album too. Southern Harmony, Musical Companion. A lot of people think this is their best album. I don't think I would argue that. Then you got Amorica. I don't know if I can legally show you that. But fine record. And the fourth one, Three Snakes and One Charm. Another fine record, cool cover. This one also comes with a live disc. But this is not all of their stuff. And I actually have all of the Black Crowes albums, except I didn't get the newest one, which I have to get at some point. Happiness, whatever it's called. But great band in their time, brought back rock and roll, like I said. Hall of Fame worthy? I don't know. Next up, you got Mariah Carey. Well, I don't own any Mariah Carey albums. I can't stand her. But obviously has an amazing voice, and because it's really, to a certain extent, not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anymore, it's more the Popular Music Hall of Fame, and based on who they've been putting in, I don't know how you can't put Mariah Carey in, because she's like one of the most successful artists of all time and got an incredible voice. So I don't care for her. I would never put her in, but I don't know how you can't put her in based on the other people they've put in and the success that she's had for a very long time. Chubby Checker comes next, first nomination. Now, I got a problem with Chubby Checker and some of these 50s artists that they've put in. And I'm not talking Buddy Holly, and I'm not talking Elvis Presley, and I'm not talking Chuck Berry and some other ones. But there's artists that they put in, and Chubby Checker might be one of them. You know, the guy, let's be honest, the guy's famous for like 1 or 2 songs. Do you put him in as a performer in the Hall of Fame because of the twist? I mean, you're not going to put Grand Funk in, who has a body of work like this. And there's a lot of bands like Grand Funk that I've talked about that I think should be in. And they have a tremendous discography. And not all of their albums are great, but all of their albums have a really good stuff. But if you put a best of together, and there's a bunch of them, or greatest hits of Grand Funk, and you watch them live, and you're like, these guys are phenomenal. It's a great, great listen. But you might put in a guy who's got really one great famous song from the 50s. Maybe they should just have the twist in, not Chubby Checker. You have the song in with Chubby Checker. My 2 cents. Next up, we got Joe Cocker, his first nomination. Now, I like Joe Cocker. I really do. Mad Dogs and Englishmen is one of the all-time great live records. It was a fun movie. I like it. It was ahead of its time with that, huge entourage. But if you have Joe Cocker's albums, they're really spotty, except for like the first 2, maybe. After that, they're just a mess, to be honest with you. And, most people will stick with like a best-of collection. And even these are not great from beginning to end. Here's another one, the Ultimate Collection. Some of the stuff is great. A lot of the stuff is really good. Some of it's not so good. Here's a double collection called the Joe Cocker, the Anthology. And it goes through, each album. And the beginning albums, as you can see, are absolutely amazing. But after that, it gets pretty, pretty spotty. Now, of course, he was fun live in his heyday, first couple of years, and a great voice, and his cover of, With a Little Help from My Friends, he owns that song as far as I'm concerned. But as a whole career, is it really worth being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, more than Grand Funk, more than some others? I don't know. Billy Idol comes next, first nomination. Billy Idol, listen, I was in college when Rebel Yo came out, even his first album after Generation X. Rebel Yo was a great album, it was all over the place. After that, in my opinion, very spotty career. Even if you take like one of his best of albums, the very best of Billy Idol, there's some great, great things on here. And then there's some things on here that are not so great. And there's only 18 songs on here. Is this kind of like, I prefer Bad Company way more than Billy Idol. It's not even close. But that kind of idea where, do you really put them in as Hall of Famers? They're kind of like 250 batting average, in my opinion. They're really good in their time, but are they the greatest of all time? Well, obviously in my opinion, but maybe in yours. Next up, Joy Division, New Order. Listen, I don't have any Joy Division and New Order albums, but I know they're really influential. To correct me if I'm wrong, I think Joy Division only had like 2 albums, but they were really successful overseas, and I guess New Order's had a much longer career, especially bigger in the UK than in America. And I guess people love to say how influential they are. You would have to know better than me. They certainly haven't influenced any of the music I like. But, they're a legendary band, so maybe they should be in. I just don't know them. All right, Cyndi Lauper comes next. I got a lot of feedback the last time I talked about Cyndi Lauper. I like Cyndi Lauper. I got the first album, Girls, the one with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She's So Unusual when it first came out. In fact, I saw her in a bar band in Albany. She was in a band called Blue Angel before she went solo. So I know Cyndi Lauper. I like her. She got a great voice. I appreciate her outrageousness to get discovered and become famous. And then I even saw the True Colors album I bought when that came out, and I saw her at Madison Square Garden with Eddie Money opening up, and she was excellent. But after that, honestly, it's a spotty career, and she's done lots of different things. She's an artist with an A. I know she's done Broadway, and she's big on the gay lesbian whole thing and influence and all of that, and that's fine. But I'm talking about the music. And the same thing, like here's a collection, The 12 Deadly Sins, and she's got other ones. It's good. It's really good. I like a lot of her stuff. Is it Hall of Fame worthy? Is she the best of all time? I don't know. Let's keep going. Maná. I don't know who the hell Maná is. Never heard of Maná. I literally have no idea, and I'm not cheating. I don't do Wikipedia. I'm not researching to impress you people. Let me know who Maná is, but first nomination. I literally have no idea who that is. They'll put Maná in, but they won't put Grand Funk in, or we'll save Jethro Tull for the end. All right, next up is Oasis. Well, I have no problem with Oasis. I thought Oasis should have been in last time. And I actually predicted, if you're watching a video from a year ago, I said Oasis is going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year because they reformed and they're going to tour. And we all know the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame loves that kind of stuff. So do a Broadway show, you get the Go-Go's in. Reform, play multiple nights at stadiums, Oasis is getting in. With that said, I think Oasis should be in. You know, they have quite the discography and, worldwide and certainly over in the UK. I mean, it just doesn't get much bigger and more influential over that time period than Oasis. And they broke around the world. And in fact, they even broke into America and they were able to play Madison Square Garden a couple times and sell it out. They are a gigantic, legendary rock and roll band. And that is not an easy thing to do, especially anymore, in the world of rock and roll. And I got no problem with Oasis being in there, and I don't think all their albums are great either. But they are epic when they're great. And they're just rock and roll with a capital R. No doubt about it. I would definitely put Oasis in. All right, next comes Outkast. First nomination. Now, I know Outkast because my kids loved Outkast when they had... I don't think they were around that long. You'd have to let me know. But I remember that one album, the double album, boy, and the big hits. You know, they were hot. And I know that they have like a good 5 albums that were really, really successful in America. And are they the only like rap band in this list? Like, unless Maná is. I don't know who the hell Maná is. But I guess Outkast is really the only rap band on here. You know they're getting in. And they're not my kind of music, so I would never vote for them. But they're not like a one-hit wonder. I know that they had a good 4 or 5 really big records. And, they crossed over. So I'm sure they're going to get in. Again, not my choice, but I get it. All right, let's keep going. I got some other ones over here. Who else do I got? Next up is Phish. Not from Marillion. We're talking Phish PH. And there is no doubt that Phish should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I am not a huge Phish fan. I have a lot of their albums. I appreciate what they did. They basically carried on from the Grateful Dead. They took their whole game book, and that's not easy to do. There's a lot of jam bands out there, but they really did it on a huge level. And they're always releasing live records, and they're touring, and they're as big as you can get. Do you know... I don't remember exactly. They have sold out Madison Square Garden something like almost 90 times. I think it was 87 times. They probably hold the record except for Billy Joel, which is nothing to sneeze at. And they play stadiums all over countless times. They're an amazing musicians. I mean, I got a bootleg here, or this is not a bootleg. I mean, they played The Whole Exile on Main Street from the Stones. They did it better than the Stones could ever do. And they did Quadrophenia, I have that too. Better than The Who would do. And they're just an amazingly talented band. I actually don't think it's Loaded. They did Loaded. They did the Talking Heads album. I don't particularly think they have a massive amount of great songs like the Grateful Dead have. And they don't sound anything like the Grateful Dead, really. But they are mega, and they've been doing it a long time. And I got no problem with Phish getting in. All right, next up is Soundgarden. I don't have any Soundgarden albums. I am not like, I know Black Hole Sun, and they also, I don't think they were around all that long. What were they around, like 5 years or something like that? But certainly that whole sound was so influential, and everybody's going to say how influential they were, and I guess they were. And Chris Cornell's a sad story. So Black Hole Sun's an amazing track. I can't judge Soundgarden. I don't have their albums. Maybe all of their albums are amazing and their influence. I imagine they're going to get in. So, and I really can't say if they should or not. The White Stripes is last. They're another one that I like their originality. I think they were totally very, very unique. I mean, they didn't invent that sound, just him and the drummer, Meg, but, you know, they're really cool, at least for a while. The problem I have with them is that they're very limited in sound, and I can't listen to them all that much. White Blood Cells, really fine record. Elephant, really fine record. Get Behind Me, Satan, really fine record. They have other ones. You know, what's his name? Jack White is really cool. They're just a really cool band. But you knew he was going to have to move on because it's just too limited for him. And it is a limited sound. But, of course, he's created an empire. If you go to Nashville, I went to the record store, the record label. You know, he's a maverick. He does things his own way. They might actually get in. But they're not a band that I could listen to all that much. So, you know, as you gather from my video, you know, I like a lot of these bands. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has gotten so watered down, and maybe it's because you just run out of acts. You know, that, in my opinion, you know, should the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame only have been Elvis and Chuck Berry and Buddy Holly and the Stones and the Beatles, Zeppelin and the Who and Dylan and Springsteen and Joni Mitchell and that really, really higher echelon? Then you wouldn't have an induction every year. You'd run out of people, and I think that's what happened. And maybe, in fact, that's why it's really not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anymore. It's the Popular Music Hall of Fame, because, you know, there's only so many that you could put in. You start getting to a lower level, you know. I love Bad Company, I really do, but, you know, are they Hall of Fame? Are they amongst the greatest of all time? You know, their career's spotty. Same with Joe Cocker, same with Cyndi Lauper, the Black Crowes, you know. But I like the Black Crowes. I love them. I don't know, it's kind of tough. And I'm saving the best for last because nothing pisses me off more than the fact that Jethro Tull is not in. Jethro Tull, about all of these acts, is way superior, way more original. You talk about an ongoing career. Different lineups, but Ian Anderson is a genius. But, I mean, just look at this. Each one of these is a box set. And this is not even all their albums. And Jethro Tull also sold out Madison Square Garden countless times. Sold out Shea Stadium and other stadiums. I mean, they've done it all. And they are completely ignored. And no, I don't see how you could put Joe Cocker and Bad Company and Cyndi Lauper and the White Stripes and the Black Crowes and Billy Idol in before Jethro Tull. Or even Grand Funk. Because Grand Funk was the American band, man. They were only around for a couple of years. But in those couple of years, they sure released a lot of albums. A lot of spotty albums. But a lot of great songs. And I just want to see them get back together, the original band. And maybe if they got in the Hall of Fame, they would do that. So anyway, let me know. Now, if I have to choose out of these, what do they choose? 5? I don't know. How many of these 14 get in? They probably put most of them in. But, you know, I would definitely put in Phish. And I would definitely put in Oasis. You know, I would see them putting Mariah Carey in because she has to be in for her success and her talent and based on the other people they put in. But I can't stand her. I would imagine Outkast being the only rap act on here. They're going to get in. And you know what? They had a relatively short career, but it was pretty successful. It wasn't like a one-hit wonder. So they'll get in. And, you know, other than that, I don't know. You know, as much as I like the Black Crowes and Bad Company and Joe Cocker and Billy Idol, Cyndi Lauper, the White Stripes, I like them a lot. Are they Hall of Fame worthy? I don't know. Maybe the White Stripes because they're so damn different. And I guess influential to a certain extent, maybe. And I'm sure Soundgarden's good to get in because Chris Cornell. And maybe they deserve it. I'm just not a fan. So let me know what you guys think. It's a fun topic, and it's always fun to talk about it. And I can't really take it too seriously anymore because it really is the Popular Music Hall of Fame, and we'll see who gets in. So let me know what you think. As always, thanks so much for watching. New to my channel, why not hit subscribe? And I'll see you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.